Greetings on a lovely 3rd of June 2021. I almost said 2020. Could you believe that? But standing in my truth, Valerie Maxfield in the house. How are you all doing? To everyone out there in cyber world, I hope you are truly enjoying the wonderful sunshine. So if you're watching this on the replay and it's in the evening, I hope you had a sunny day. If you're watching this in the night time, I hope you had a sunny day. And if you're watching this right now, I hope you had a sunny day. No matter what you've been going through with life, I hope the sunshine brought smiles and you're coping as best as you can. I know that there's so much things going on with the news. 1 minute we're 21st, 1 minute we're out. But whilst we're in lockdown, I'm going to continue to try and share wonderful people that I've met or know along the journey. I've got some fabulous, actually, for anyone that's on my Facebook page, yeah, it will be I said that last week, it is the last, but only purely because this guest is quite well known and a few people know her from on my personal page. So we're going live on both Facebook page today, YouTube and our Twitch channel, which goes live as of next week. Thursday. Everything goes next week Thursday on the Twitch page. Anyway, wonderful positive affirmations to you all. And let's start the show like this. What is sickle cell anemia? Today's show is about sickle cell anemia. And it's funny because when I was doing my research about sickle cell, there were some really, really great questions. Oh, I better turn my phone down. How dare I have my phone on? Oh, I better make sure I tell my guests to make sure that they do the same. Someone's texting me again, you're live. I know. But anyway, what is sickle cell anemia? Good question. Someone asked, is it only Black people? Sickle cell anemia is really an African and Caribbean people, but you can get it, believe it or not, in Asian, a broad spectrum of it can carry through to Asian people too. There's a small portion of Caucasians with particular genetics, maybe made up of Afro-Caribbeans, that also has sickle cell anemia. But without me going into it, I'm just going to play a 41-second of a video that just gives you more, rather than having me talking about it, because I can go on about it all day. I've lost friends over the years with sickle cell anemia. And it's not one to be scared of, but it's one that we should have awareness about. And I don't feel that it is given enough awareness when it comes to sickle cell anemia. The stigma that sits behind it, that, oh, it's only Black people. It's the same as, come on, leukemia, lupus. These are all things that happens around the world. So let's take that stigma away today. And before I bring in my two wonderful guests today, I'm just going to play a little video clip. And I hope this plays that you understand it. Here we go.
In people with sickle cell disease, their red blood cells become deformed, turning sickle-shaped. The bone marrow tries to make more red cells to make up for the loss, but can't keep up, causing anemia. Their new shape keeps them from moving properly through the body, and the misshapen cells can jam up and stick to the walls of the blood vessels. These clumps cut off oxygen to healthy tissue, delaying a child's normal growth and causing fatigue and extreme pain.
Now, that's all they're telling you. But sickle cell anemia is inherited in the red blood cells. And, you know, it's normally the flexible, round blood cells. And people are going to ask, what does sickle mean? What is sickle? Now, sickle is a shape, because you can get a sickle stick. You can get a sickle boomerang looking stick. And that's how the blood vessels looks that way. I'm going to show a diagram. So there's your normal red blood cells, and they are round. But when it's sickled, these are what you normally see, the abnormal sickle cell red blood cells. But as I said, I'm not a doctor, but I've tried my best to give as much research into what sickle cell does, and it's very debilitating. It is really painful. The worst thing is to watch someone that suffers with sickle cell and you don't know what to do. You can't hug them. You just can't hug them. You can't. There's not much you can do. Over the years, the doctors have been trying to find new ways of gene testing and new forms of injections. But we're going to talk about this because my new guests are in the chat room. And I'm going to start first with bringing in Daniel Millington, who is Colette Millington's son. And so I'm going to go with Daniel first to find out from Daniel. And let's talk about sickle cell anemia from the person himself. Let me bring in Daniel right now. Evening, Daniel. How are you?
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
Awesome. So, right, I want to make sure everyone can see your face and get your ear. Thank you for your patience, because we had a bit of technical issues with tonight's show. And for all parties. But first and foremost, as you can see, I played a little video about sickle cell, but I didn't want to go into it and be misinformed. I wanted people to hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. So I'm going to take it right to the beginning before we bring in your mother, and take it from her perspective about sickle cell. So Daniel, introduce yourself to the audience first and foremost. Just give a brief synopsis about you. And let us go straight from there.
Yeah, as you know, I'm Daniel. All my life I've had, unfortunately, this disease, sickle cell.
Not unfortunate. Don't do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, really. Been taking, I've been having to have tablets all my life, and it's just been up and down roller coaster, really.
Growing up with it, do you remember the first, your mum could say when you were diagnosed, but do you actually recall when you were first told that you had these symptoms?
I think my probably first real memories is I was probably at school one time, infants, and I just remembered that my mum had to come pick me up, and I remember I was just like lying on the floor, not on the, it was like a little carpet section with pillows and stuff. So I was just like made myself a little comfortable there. That was probably my first experience of what I can remember, out probably in a public sort of thing. Because usually, and even up to now, it'll be a thing where I would wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning, and that would be the situation. But for it to just come in the middle of the day like that, or just unexpectedly, like, next 10 minutes, is very rare to come like that.
And that was a shock to you because you didn't know what was going on, I guess, right?
I mean, to be at school, obviously, like I said, I wake up with it. So if I'm going to wake up with it, I know, what the rest of my day is going to be like, So to say that I've gone to school and it's hit me, that would have been really... And I still can't remember it now. I just remember certain flashpoints. I just remember my mum coming in, I made my little section, my little area where I was. I don't remember the rest of the day, but that was like, I was infant. So I was probably like 6, the oldest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so at 6 years old, you were still trying to understand what's going on with you.
Exactly. I mean, I would just get these pains every now and then. It's like, I'll just be in bed all day or in hospital, unfortunately. So it's just like, I don't know, like, what could I do?
Exactly. You're 6 years old. Come on, So here you are, 6 years old, and this is now becoming increasing because now you're in hospital and you're constantly having these pains. Yeah. Did you understand because obviously by then your mother would have known what was going on with you. Your mother would have been told what was happening with you. Did you actually understand what was going on?
I mean, I think I was a slow learner anyway, so I was always informed and stuff, but I always just left it to mummy. If you get what I mean, I was just like, mum would look after me sort of thing. But as I got older, teenagers, and I started, working and having responsibilities where I would have to be up in a day, and I'm missing important things now because of this. That's when the understanding of it more started coming in more, and obviously looking after myself a bit better and stuff. And then, new chapter kids is here now and all that sort of stuff. So
sure, but before we get to the kids section,
yeah.
in your teenage years, could you always tell when you were going into a crisis? And what, if you don't mind, if give people who don't understand sickle cell, and for parents, for argument's sake, what their child would experience, or what, not so much what to look for, or what would the symptoms be? So would it be that you were sore? Would it be that you had a temperature? Would it be that you were cold? What were the symptoms?
The most easiest thing where people, especially my mom, would say, you might end up getting ill now, or something might happen, is when I would have a cold. And depending on how severe the cold is, like a week, 2 weeks, a proper infection sort of thing, that would usually lead on to to a crisis. For some reason, I don't know why, that was one of the more common things. But usually on a normal, let's say Wednesday, I'll be fine. Thursday, Friday, for no reason, I'll just wake up Saturday in complete pain. Like, no.
Oh wow! Just pain, your whole body just starts to hurt.
Yeah, that's just start from my back, and then from my back it goes to my legs, from my legs, my arms, wherever it may be, all of them at the same time. It's usually the back. The back's usually the main place, but there'll be no warning. Sometimes if you maybe I'm sitting there in pain, thinking about it, and maybe I was feeling a bit weak, maybe I was a bit tired the other day, maybe I did do too much of something, but there's no real warning to say, you might wake up the next morning, a bit messed up. It's just you will just wake up and it's like, oh no. Or even like certain times I might feel a bit rough, so I feel like, okay, let me try get comfortable, have a bath sort of thing, and I might do that, and then we just make it completely worse. And I come out the bath. Yeah.
But that's, you see, this is how you're trying to manage it at an older age.
Exactly.
But trying to manage it at the age of 15, 16, 17.
And those are the worst age, because obviously you got friends, you want to be at the house,
that's what I was going to ask you. What was that like?
Exactly. I mean, I tried to live my life as normal as I could. When I was out, it's like, it's all out the window. I didn't even have sickle cell. I'm just a normal person. But unfortunately, I wake up in the morning. It's like, oh no, maybe I had a bit too much to drink, and now I feel a bit funny. And I was never a hard drinker anyway. But my friend's birthday or something, I might just have a one extra or something. And then especially at the young age, I would wake up sometimes. It's like, oh, I feel a bit groggy or something.
Yeah.
Not over. What's the words? When you're drunk, you wake up in the morning, hangover. That's the word.
Hangover. You're not hungover.
Like more like I do feel achy in certain places, but but then you don't know. Is it that? Was it that? Is it? You don't really know.
It's like you're trying to diagnose yourself, aren't you? Really?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Is it sickle cell? Is it not sickle cell?
Yeah.
Because from what I'm reading, the symptoms can present themselves as a chest infection. It can present itself as very fluey. And so you really just don't know. And as I said, I will bring your mum in a bit later just to explain of how she was told about you having the sickle cell. Were you told when you did start to understand it? What age is it that for yourself, that you start to understand that, damn, I've got this this thing is debilitating, and fair enough, I know I'm 16, I want to be out with my friends. Were you able to tell your friends around you, a circle of people, that, look, I got sickle cell and I'm sorry I can't do X, Y, and Z? Were you able to do that and feel comfortable telling them?
I always grew up with my friends, so I was really close with them, so it wasn't a thing where I had to tell them this. They already knew, especially my close friends. Let's say that out of the circle, they would probably be told, and the charger, be told by, no, they would know, but it's like, what can they do? Obviously, some would care, some would probably act like they care and live their life, but what can you really do?
No.
They would help me if they could. I think it got to the point as well, especially with one of my best friends there. because I was in hospital a lot, they would come visit me as much as they could, obviously, but obviously it got to the point, we grow up and you ain't got that kind of time to keep doing these things. Maybe upset him as well to see him in that kind of state as well. As we got older, you can kind of deal with these things when you're younger, but I don't know, when you're a bit older, it's a bit, I don't know, especially see your friend like that.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird. So, but my friends has always been cool with it. They've helped me as much as they could, and they've never really treated me differently or because of it. Like,
yeah. So family wise, how is it been? Because they say that if there's one gene with the trait, that it can be passed out. So sometimes you can miss a generation, and then and then the next generation would get it. Were you wary about, you've got 2 children, correct?
yes.
So with your 2 children and your partner, obviously you had to tell your partner that, look, I have sickle cell. And so she has to look, understand it. How were you able to educate her of that? And, did you have any weird, say to yourself, I'm going to have children. How are you going to cope if your child then had sickle cell?
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like, you kind of just live and go. Like, obviously, I tell her one day, I know I got this situation, blah blah blah. This happened, that happens, this may happen. Like, oh, okay, cool. Well, when it happens, it happens. It happens, and
Oh, so
you
she
go.
was quite accepting to it, that this is
Yes,
how
of
you
course.
are.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yes.
beautiful.
So we go through it. We go through the hospital rides and all that stuff. And she's been there on my side with it. We've obviously done the research and what happens with children and stuff. First thing is, have you got sickle cell? Obviously she didn't, which is first tick pass.
Oh,
And
so
then
she went and got checked as well, yes?
yeah, well,
Oh,
yeah,
she already knew. She already
you already
knew.
knew. You would know these things by that age. I'm sure you would know anyway, especially if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like me, because there's the trait and then there's anemia.
that's correct.
So my mum and dad has a trait which ain't so bad, but then when you get both parties, you get anemia. So apparently my daughter has the trait, but my son wasn't meant to, but then he is meant to. So we're not too sure about my son 100%.
No, he does have it. They both have it.
Apparently he does have it. And my
Oh,
daughter
right, okay.
yeah.
Mummy knows best. Don't argue with mummy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right.
But it's the trait, and they've had no trouble like that. Even my daughter's 10, and by the time I was 10, I've probably been in hospital 10 times. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So she's been fine. My son has been fine.
So
Nothing.
I don't want to use the word lucky, but the fortunate is that they have the trait. Because for the audience out there, do you mind explaining the anemia and the trait? What is the difference and the different effects?
To put it easy, so everyone can understand it, it's like Diet Coke and Coke. It's got half the sugar. It's just half the pain. So whereas you'll never see my mum in a situation where I am, maybe once in like 5 years, whereas me, you could see it 5 in 3 years, for example. So but like I said, when you get both trait, you need to really consider what you're going to do if you're going to go down that road of having a baby, because more chances is they will have some sort of sickle cell disease.
Yeah. The thing is, the awareness is there, and it to me it feels like a closed community, and that's just me. I don't have sickle cell, but I've lost a friend years ago through sickle cell. I understood it, but I watched her mother constantly take her daughter to the hospital. We were young, we were all young, but we just constantly, and she was stick thin, because no matter what she ate, she was just stick thin. But when there you go. I know I was going to say to you, because you become thin, and I constantly watched, and this woman, her name was Pamela. I don't know if she's still alive today, but she was a soldier, and we just didn't understand. We just knew the word sickle cell. You know, we knew leukemia, we knew cancer, but we
Yeah.
we didn't know what lupus was. Lupus was like a new thing to many of us, even to me today. It's only when lupus came close to my family that I had to sort of like, and my friends, I was like, whoa, another one, another Black community. What the hell is this? So you've just explained that there's the anemia, and that for anyone that joins us late, you know, Dan has explained it's like, and I love the analogy, the Coke and Diet Coke. Do you know what I mean? You get the sugar and you don't get the sugar.
Basically, yeah.
Exactly. You've said that your children, you know, they've both got the trait, and so it's educating them. When they've seen you, because obviously your children are old enough to notice that daddy's in hospital, daddy's not well. How do you manage to educate your children that this is what's going on?
Well, on a day-to-day life, it's like I said, it's normal living. There's no signs of, you know, I have sickle cell, you know, I take it easy with this, take it easy with that. It's when situations kicked off, it's like, okay, you know, daddy's a bit ill, give him a bit of space today, you know, try to calm down a bit. But they're kids, they do what kids do, innit? It's only when and if they see like an ambulance person in the house, or, you know, they see me on video in the hospital, especially my daughter. I mean, she understands it now. It's my son, my last visit, couple months ago. He's now understood that, you know, what happens when I'm not well, then my certain routines, me going in the bath, me just laying down sort of thing, just resting. So even now, if I'm fine, but I'm just laying down, he's like, Daddy's not well. If he sees me in a bath, Daddy's not well, and I'm fine, I'm okay. Like, so they do understand what he does, and my daughter's like, yeah.
So you try not to shield them too much. You try to make them aware that this is.
They know what I do. My daughter, like I said, my son's gonna learn. As it's not like I'm telling him every day.
No, sure. Yeah.
But, you know, like my daughter now, she knows. So, you know, just as I go on, just as if it happens, they're gonna see. Unfortunately,
yeah,
because I'm around them. So,
well, before I bring your mum in, just to hear it from her perspective, you know, having you, finding out, etc. What sort of medications do you have to take on a regular basis?
I've always gone penicillin and folic acid. That was the main two. Well, not recently, but the last few years they've had this new hydroxyurea.
Hydroxylic acid, yes.
Yeah. So they're now, I guess, the main three. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit of a stubborn person, and I don't keep up with it every day.
Is that the Scorpio in us?
It's something. It's in me. I think it's just me. It's me.
No, it's a Scorpio, trust me.
But
we don't like change. We don't like anything that changes.
Yeah, I mean,
if we don't understand it, we're not doing it.
Exactly. I was born with the penicillin and the folic acid now, and they used the word trialing with this thing 5 years ago. So I never took it. I've already now really started kind of properly taking it.
How do you feel?
I mean, there's no side effects, which is obviously the main thing you look for when you take something new. So I've had nothing crazy there. It's just, I don't know, you got to check these little charts, and that's where the proof is in the pudding, really, of how, because obviously as time gone on, the more data they've got on it and more research they've been doing, so they know more than what they did 10 years ago.
10 years ago, that's right. I do know that there is a blood drive at the moment, because I spoke to a few people prior to doing the show, people that work in the NHS who are very highly up there dealing with the sickle cell organization, and they are crying out for people to donate blood for sickle cell. Have you yourself had to go through transfusions due to having sickle cell?
I had an operation a couple years back, and it got cancelled because I don't know what, it's like they didn't research on me that I had sickle cell, so they were just going to operate on me like a normal person until one of the nurses said, well, hold on, And then they researched, found out I had sickle cell, cancelled the whole operation, and had me go on blood transfusion for about 6 weeks prior to operation. And then a few hospital visits, let's say within the last 3 years, I think I've gone through 2 separate ones, but it's not a regular thing what I've done.
How do you feel with the blood transfusion? What does it help with the pain?
To be honest, I haven't done it much to say that it benefited me or I haven't. And to be honest, I don't like the idea of someone else's blood coming into my system. So I've always felt, I watch the blood come in and I'm just waiting to feel, you feel a bit dizzy, or you think you do, or
yeah, you do, yeah,
all in your head. But
yeah,
I haven't done it much to say, it's beneficial. So I can't really answer that. But
yeah. Does your doctor say to you, look, you really need to have regular blood transfusions?
You know what? A couple of years ago, I was there and they said, like, I'll go for it. I say, my pains here and there. I have to tell them, I'll be honest with them, all the stuff I do, the stuff I shouldn't be doing. I tell them everything. And he said, well, what it sounds like is, you have sickle cell, but it's like you have a sickle cell of level 6, which isn't, up there. It isn't top tier where, people suffering every week, every month. Like I can go a good stretch, living a good life before, I get struck down and have to go to hospital for a few weeks and all that. And he said, that's good. I can't really.
So you're on that. You know what, Daniel? That's really a good thing, because there's people like yourself who, as you just said, you're not level 7 or 8 or 9. Yeah. You've been able to manage the sickle cell, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to raise the awareness that yes, there are people walking amongst us that's got sickle cell, and you may not even realize that they do, and one of the things that got me through lockdown, well, not got me through, as in it's when that boy that went missing about 2 months ago, and he's left his home, and this boy, he was eventually found dead, but this boy had sickle cell. Yeah. It was all over the news. That broke my heart, because it wasn't highlighted. Since someone's just turned your light out. It wasn't that's better. It wasn't highlighted right from the get-go that, listen, there's a very vulnerable person out there. He's got sickle cell. And I think even when the media was listening to it, I don't think they understood how serious sickle cell really is, how debilitating.
They didn't even talking about the sickle cell really, so they didn't bring
that's the point. So that's what I was trying to raise the awareness that if you hear the word sickle cell, please do not just think, oh, it's just, I'm going to have a blood transfusion, or you're not in any pain. Think of it as the same way you'd see leukemia.
Yes.
Think of it as the same way as amyloidosis. Think of it as the same way as lupus. It's about raising that awareness around. Look, I'm going to bring Mummy in because I can see her patiently. Crystal, are you there? Oh my God, I can see her on the phone. Crystal, come and join me, my darling. Let's have the joint conversation. Good evening, my darling. How are you, Crystal?
Hi.
Right, there's a lot of noise. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we've got no feedback. Daniel, say hi to Mum. Mum, say hi to Daniel. Oh, there is definitely feedback.
Is that feedback?
That's better. Absolutely better. Daniel, say hi to Mum. Mum, Daniel.
Hello, Mum.
Crystal, don't.
Walk on,
All right, we moved again. There you go.
Sorry, babe. Here I am. Sorry.
Awesome. That's okay. Crystal, thank you for joining us. I had you the other day on listening to your beautiful voice. But on a more serious note today, it's... Crystal, can you stop moving? I'm used to Mum, Daniel, don't worry.
I don't think the viewers are.
Yeah, no. By the end of it, hopefully they will be. But Crystal, you've heard me talking to your beautiful son, Daniel. He articulated... Yeah, he's articulated lovely, how he dealt with having sickle cell. But what I want to do, I want to take it from you, going right down to the nitty gritty, right at the beginning. And I want to hear it from your side as the mother, finding out that your son has sickle cell. So, Crystal, just quickly, just introduce yourself one more time. Can you tell me something? Why are you wearing 2 glasses?
Oh, no, that's my sunglasses. Oh, sorry. That's my sunglasses.
I just noticed.
I just got in. You know what we've done today?
I know, I'm joking. I just went, something on her head. It's not a hat. It's a pair of glasses.
It's not sunglasses. Sorry. I'm in my house, man.
I know. Okay. It's okay. So just let's take it back to the beginning, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
Just quickly introduce yourself, you again, one more time to the audience out there, for those that will be watching on the replay, etc. Who are you, my darling?
Hi, I'm Colette. I'm Daniel's mum, aka Crystal, the mad child.
Now, Crystal, I've as people gathered over time, they know that I've known you, and we said, I've watched you. And Daniel, this is the truth. I have watched you and listened. There was times that I would get a late night call, Daniel, and Mum would be just having a normal conversation, and she would break down that Daniel's back in hospital again, or Daniel's not well. So I probably know you more than you think I know you, Daniel.
More than that.
And just listening to Mum's plight over and over again, repetitively, it brought back a lot of memories of watching my friend's mum back in the day, having to go through all of that. I didn't have the gumption then to ask her, what is it? How do you deal with it? And so I think the Lord has given me the chance to speak to someone else, to make me understand, and for everyone else to identify with a mother what it's like. So, Crystal, when you were first told that your son had sickle cell, how was that told to you?
It was told to me after I had him, kind of thing, when he was born. I woke up to about 10 doctors around me. That's all I remembered. And I didn't know what was wrong. I was 18, 19. So I remember them looking at me, but smiling, just like smiling and that, like talking. So they must have been there quite a while. So I'm coming round, waking up and seeing them looking at me. Then one of them doctors said, I can't remember what they said, but it's something to do with, your child has sickle cell. So I'm saying, like sickle cell.
What?
1984, I think it's 1984. It was kind of researching then, because we didn't really know a lot about it. And when I asked my mum, then my mum would be aware of it, because they said, oh, it's like anemic or something. They said you've got sickle cell, and they said sometimes the lifespan is about like up to 10 years. I thought, here we go. When they said that, they were talking and saying certain things. I went, like,
they just told you that his lifespan would only be about 10 years?
Not exactly at that moment. When we got around and we were talking, and they're saying, remember, they're researching as well, so maybe they don't really know about it as well. So they're saying that sickle cell is a thing where he's going to be on tablets for the rest of his life, and sometimes they don't make it, or they don't survive or something like that. But in the meantime, you meet people along the way, and you learn more things, you get more experience, you hear different things about it. So it wasn't like what they said about 10 years. Maybe they dealt with a few people, patients like that. I'm not sure, but I just thought, this ain't happening. I'm going to protect this child for the rest of life. It's not.
That's probably where he gets his strong attitude from. So you were told literally after having Daniel in the hospital that he's got sickle cell, and you're still trying to make sense of it.
What is sickle cell?
Yeah, exactly. What was it? Did you know? Did you have someone that sat you down, and over a period of time, did they ask you, have you got sickle cell or sickle cell trait, or you've got anemia? Did they ever discuss that with you?
wow. I think when you're 17, 18, 19, you're going through things. I don't know. I don't even recall. I think I must have, well, obviously I am anemic, but I just can't remember the word sickle cell, because we was in Milton Keynes then, and there was not a lot of us getting together, the Black community, you know, talking about certain things until like in the 1984, 85. So Daniel was kind of like a research for Milton Keynes, Wicks Cross, you know, Milton Keynes Hospital. He was like the first, like the research, you know, like they wanted to know what it was all about. Then I found an African doctor. I got people phoning me and we started talking. I had a doctor come around to my mum's house because I was at my mum's at the time. So just to get the, you know, the idea of what it was, and then he explained what Daniel said, you know, about the pear shape and the normal cells, and we got the normal cells, and their cells is like a pear, and if they get what do you call it, crises, his blood flow can't connect, it's not swimming, so it joints, his bones would join up, and you know, it was that. So Daniel being born in 1984 with a sickle cell and so forth, he was like a little special child. I thought I'd just put this out there because he was in the paper and he was like a little model and all that. So, you know, he was a pretty baby, I must say. So the sickle cell, we went with that. So from there, it was like we were doing meetings. Daniel's name would always come up. It was the first thing going on about Black people and the sickle cell, and then what's that word? The leukemia. No, the leukemia connected to it or something. The same thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was all like a new thing, really. And then it was when he was 1, 2. He used to go in hospital more than he did as he's got older. When he was little, when he started walking, there was time we had a family get together. He wouldn't be walking. He'd be crawling on his knees because he's in pain. He's okay, but he's in pain. But I had to deal with it. But my mum, it used to be my mum. My mum used to look and shake her head like.
It's all right. Take your time. Please take your time. Don't make me cry. Stop it.
Well, he's here anyway, so he's in the flesh. Yeah. Oh, Daniel. Oh, Daniel, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't even like you. Yeah. No, I love you really. So
honestly, just take your time, Crystal.
I'm just going back to memories. It's just a lot of memories. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot.
And how?
Not me. He has.
It's you know, I'm trying my best to stay composed myself for you.
So I need to put my dark glasses on.
2 years old, you are. Take those glasses off. People are not going to worry about the emotion. It's about you being real. And don't cover yourself up for nobody, Crystal.
That was a joke. I was waiting for the tissue. That was a joke. I was waiting for the tissue.
Absolutely.
I wasn't going to wear the glasses, you know. I'm just trying to catch joke in it. I hate you, Valerie. Don't talk to me after this, yeah?
Listen to me, Empress. It is your life journey. It's your son's life journey. And maybe he probably has never heard you speak like this, but this is what the show is all. It's all about you. This is the time for you to let people understand how you dealt with it. As you just said, he's your special child. He's always special. He's your number one. Okay. So you said that your mom used to shake her head. Now, and I'm trying not to make you cry again, but how did you know it? How did you recognize it from being just a cold and the pain that he was in? How were you able to identify with that, Crystal? Only because purely it would be good to let someone else know.
Because he used to be in a lot of pain. He used to be in a lot of pain. He wouldn't eat. He couldn't eat. Daniel was very slim. So like my family or my friends would say, don't you feed him, don't you feed him, he's so mager, not knowing it's the sickle cell. He was a lot skinny, but trust me, I would look after him. I looked after him to the bone, but he wouldn't eat and you have to drink because you get dehydrated. So there was times when he used to cry. because he was in pain, like really bad. And he was little. I used to feel bad. I just used to feel bad. I don't know why I'm crying, man. Jesus, I'm used to it now, right?
Yeah. You never get used to it, you know that.
So there's times when you just used to cry and be in pain and just feel helpless. But the Lord or the God just guide and protect us, man. And we'd be in hospital. We'd be in hospital and he'd be on a drip. And that's how he was eating, on a drip.
What was your support like when Daniel was going through all of that? Your support network around you, because you had to stay strong. I mean, look, this is Daniel. How old are you now, Daniel? You're in your 30s, right? 1984.
36.
So you're 36. And
Yep.
Mum still remembers this vividly, like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, you're not crying. How come you're not crying, Dan?
Your mum is something else, right? But it's an emotion that she doesn't visit that often because it's become the normal in life.
Yeah.
And to speak about it, but when you do revisit it, you can remember seeing it. It's what you now see. So the doctors, and what was your support network? Did you have a group of people you could talk to? Was there other people that had their children who had sickle cell? Were you able to lean on other people to get you through?
My mum, my family, and maybe like people I met along the way in the hospital. We didn't really have a constant mentor, someone who at the time, just the doctors. It was just the doctors and the nurses. But going through it, it was my family and my brothers were on point, and my mum and dad really just had to deal with it. And I just dealt with it. I had to deal with it because he's mine, innit? So I just had to deal with it, regardless I had no one there or I did have no one there, have someone there or not.
What about when he was going to school and having a crisis in school and then he had to go and get picked up? But how were the school dealing with it? Because obviously they have to make that phone call and says, oh, Ms. Millington, please come and get your son, or Miss Millington, your son's not well. How did the school system deal with Daniel? And were they supportive?
Right. Well, I have to obviously educate them. I had to educate the teachers, the school, and let them know about this thing called sickle cell. And sometimes, because there might be a thing where they might say Daniel's not well, and they think Daniel's playing up, but he's not playing up. He wasn't well. Or I might know that he's going to be sick, and then I tell him at school that he's not going to come in. It was covered well, so they knew. But certain things and holidays and going away and all that, he couldn't do. I wouldn't want him to do, and he missed out on that. But then my mum and us made up for it. He went away. He was a spoiled child, but when it came to school and going away and things like that, he couldn't do it. So he missed out on certain activities, but gained it elsewhere. But he was never behind. The school, it went round, and so they would realise about this sickness, and then obviously a few other people. He came to school in London anyway, so by that time he was back from Milton Keynes. Is that right, Daniel? Yeah, so we came back to central London, to East London. So it was here. I had to just let them know the basics. They got prescriptions, they saw letters, and I had to let them know what it was, what causes it. He needs to be, always hydrated.
Were they supportive?
Yeah, they were careful. They knew. They would phone me if there's anything wrong, and for me to tell him to come in. Or there's times when I know his eyes goes yellow, yeah? He gets a jaundice. So sometimes he's sick before I know that he's going to be sick. I mean, I know he doesn't like to hear it every minute. I just say, take your tablet. Poor Sinead, she must be saying it now, taking over me. Take your tablet. So sometimes he would have a jaundice. His eyes would go yellow. So it's for him now to fight that. Try and get back up your immune system. But like he said, but like he told you, he's stubborn. So he'll make him get himself worse and get sick. And then,
please tell the public that, Daniel, that you're stubborn to look after your sickle cell. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, Crystal, is this. How did you I spoke to Daniel and I said, like, how was you aware that he had sickle cell? So I'm going to ask you the question. So you knew from birth that your son had sickle cell, and you're still educating yourself. It is 1984. He's pretty much a guinea pig, and you're learning as you go along to deal with, you know, this sickle cell, something that when some of the doctors are telling you that it's only 10 years and your son is now coming to 3, 4, 5. And did you have any intrepidation at all that, oh my God, my son might not make it past 10 years old, or, you know, 12 years old? Did you any of that cross your mind?
I say no because I didn't want to put it in my head. I didn't want it to go in my head that, oh my God, he's not gonna live to do that. No, I wasn't having that, man. That was my one and only son, and he's a warrior like me. So whatever he's going through, I'm going through. Whatever I'm going through, he's going through. You got the right protection, the look after, taking the medication, and I don't know. It's the healthy soul food, the grace of God. Daniel, Susan's there with me. Susan's there. It's a blessing day, and we just got through. But
how did you tell Daniel? How did you break it down to your son? That did he ever come to you and go, "Mummy, what is this? What am I going through? You know, I don't understand it." And you know, Daniel probably might not remember, because I did ask him earlier, and he just said, you know, Mummy told me. But from your point of view, do you remember how he took it? How did you tell your son? And when he asked you questions, because he must have said, Mummy, what's this? I don't understand. You know, how did you try your best to explain? Oh God, my questions are too hard. I'm so sorry, Crystal. Just breathe it through.
Daniel, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but one time Daniel said, oh, I can't take the pain. I don't want to be here. That's what Daniel said one time when he was young. So when you said that question, it just reminded me.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Making me really sorry.
No, it's all right. He used to just go through so much pain. And I was in the hospital, and he used to say, why is it hurting me? Why is it like this? I can't take the pain. And I just don't know what he was feeling, but I was just there. I was just there holding his hand, and there was nothing else I could do. I don't know. I just used to pray, and, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know how he got through it, but he got through it. We had to talk to him. We had to tell him he was strong, that we're there for him. It's just a passing thing. Fight it. Mind over matter. Talk is cheap, but you have to say something to get him feeling good and that. But yeah, it's easier now he's got older, but when he was younger, and I feel bad because his dad, we can't not talk without mentioning his dad. He must be listening now as well, but his dad had, his dad's got the same kind of thing that's going, so, he's got his own little problems going on. So,
so your dad and your ex-partner, he's got the anemia.
Trait.
He's got the trait. Whoa.
They both got the trait.
Yeah.
Ooh, do I look ugly on camera, people? Don't cost me.
Oh my God, Crystal, forget about the ugly. You look gorgeous.
Oh God, gosh.
You've got, my heart is absolutely just breaking. I'm trying to,
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, but you're bringing up memories.
If you tell me sorry one more time, I will try and grab you through the phone.
Susan said she's going to do it for me.
Let's stop it right there. Daniel, you hear that your mum's. The reason why I'm going to say this to you, Daniel, is this, because she has said a copious amount of times. She said, I've told Daniel, please take your medication. Please take your medication. Please take your medication. Hi, Suzanne. I know she feels that you're having a go at her, but now you're seeing your mum, and I'm sure you've seen her in this position before, but it's a difficult word. I'm trying not to make Crystal cry again.
No, I'm not going to. He's making me strong. I'm all right. I'm
good. So it's hearing from your mum's point of view, especially the bit where she said that, you actually just felt like you wanted to give up. Can you recall that? And what got you through when those days came when you felt, I just can't do this?
For me to get to the point where I say I need to go to hospital, I've already given up a lot of my time, basically. That's already me giving up. I usually not say all the time. It's one of those things where, you're going through it and you say the obvious sort of thing. I don't want to get rid of it, sort of thing. I don't want to be here.
Don't cry, Dan.
Breathe it through, my son. Breathe it through, baby.
Yes, it's a lot, babe. It's all right, Dan. It's all right, babe. It's all right.
Yeah, it's just, it's just the bad pain. No one likes pain. No one. You just don't want it, basically.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, it's not so much of a. I can soldier it. So the word is, I get through it, but it's just the never ending, the constant, all day.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is
like there's no end to it. It's like there's no end to it. And when you feel that you've got your good days, there's days that it's like it just knocks you straight off your perch. Is that correct?
There's no appetite. I can't eat. It's like, even if I want to, there's no hunger. There's no drinking is fine. I just can't eat, like, no matter what it is. And all you want to do is sleep, but that's the last thing you're gonna get, because it's just constant pain, constant.
Yeah. Have you're in yourself, Daniel. Ooh. With yourself, as you said, you heard your mum said earlier, there's been groups that she had to have that, like you've got your family, you've got your partner, you've got your children. What about people around you? Are there groups that you went to give you that extra strength that you needed? Or have you just solely relied on mum and your family?
I haven't really relied on the outside. Due to sometimes when I do make appointments, I might get ill on that day and it's all been cancelled and it's just like all been wasted. That's happened before. Most of the times I just can't be bothered, to be honest. It's just like, it is what it is. I've dealt with it for so long. I know there's not really a cure. There has apparently been a cure in Chicago a couple of years ago. But
is that the gene one that we're talking about?
Yeah, a complete cure apparently. I forgot what they did, but it was a complete cure in Chicago.
Yeah, I read that today.
Really, yeah. This was about 3-4 years ago. But growing up with it, it is what it is, and it has been what it has been. So, no one can tell me something tomorrow is going to change the next day.
If that same gene was offered to you tomorrow, knowing that it's been endless pains, and just hearing what you've just said, which is it's just constant, because you don't know what your days are going to be like. And someone, again, yes, we Scorpios are the stubbornest on this planet. I don't think there's anyone as stubborn as we are. But if it was offered to you, would you contemplate just to say, give yourself up and say, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose. Would you try it?
I would probably have to, but it would take some convincing, because they're trying to force certain things upon you today, and that's not happening at all. So it will take some convincing.
Talk to them.
My situation is completely different to other situations right now, and I would have to obviously take consideration into it. So yeah,
do the research, in other words.
Of course, yeah.
So you would actually consider it, per se.
I would consider it. It's like I said, it's completely different to what's happening today.
Okay, Crystal, you were going to say.
What you're saying about there was a research in America. There is something that I was connected to somebody where I could get some eat proper herbal.
Mosley.
Huh?
Tamika Mosley.
Right, and Danny didn't want to take it, and he didn't want to take it. But bringing it over, it was going to cost more than like the bottle apparently, because it was something about, I think it was something like £10. I can't remember, but by the time I was going to get over, it was like £50. So the lady said I had to set her up with someone, somebody, a link over here in the marketing sector, because she said there's nobody in this site over here. She hasn't got nobody. I said, no, that doesn't make sense. She said there was no one she's connected with. That was about 7 years ago though. And I wanted it for Daniel. I said, Daniel, check this out, research it. I don't know if it's a cure. Like he said, he doesn't believe it. I don't know if he said he would believe it, but it was something. Daniel was a bit skeptical, and he said he didn't want to take it. Like you said, he's stubborn.
Things have moved on since the last 4 or 5 years ago and up to date. One of the things I found researching sickle cell today was, especially on Instagram, there is so many sickle cell groups. And there's sickle cell groups with the mothers who've just been told their babies have got sickle cell. So they've, it's all well and good that we have social media. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to have this open conversation. But there's people out there, again, I said on a couple of shows back, I don't agree with glorifying mental health. I don't agree with people glorifying cancer. That's just me. Mm-hmm. But I'm open, and I don't like people being influencers in someone's illness.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of influencers regarding the sickle cell.
Yeah.
But one of the pages that I did find, that was attached to the Sickle Cell Society .org, was there was genuine people today, adults who are doing blood drives through the NHS. So this week they've started the NHS blood drive, because there is not enough blood transfusions, would you believe, for sickle cell sufferers. And we are in the 21st century.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it, because research has gone this far on. There should be enough. There is enough. But I don't think the government, we're having, like, in America, it's okay. So June the 19th is, as I said earlier, is World Sickle Cell Day. One day.
12 hours.
Not enough. Do you understand? And I don't think it's even globally recognized in the UK. In the UK, as in World Day, it is in September. It's Sickle Cell Month. But I don't see adverts for it. I don't see anything on the TV say, oh, did you know that there's this global, it's not even a pandemic, it's been going on for years. And because it's just that community, we're not highlighting it. So that's one of the questions I was asking you guys. Are you part of a group, a society that people who watches this can say, I'm seeing symptoms in my children? Or there are children that didn't, have been ill and haven't even been diagnosed. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
Up to the age of 5, 6, going into their teenage years.
Yeah.
Because of where they are based, probably up in the middle of Whoop Whoop land, or Yorkshire and places like that, they are being misdiagnosed because the doctors are not educated enough.
Some of the babies, when they were born, and they would, like, naturally, their eyes were yellow, Daniel's eyes would be like sickly yellow. That is a sign of anemic anyway. So they would have known from there to the research, and that's where they started it from. That's how it started, because they used to take the yellow looking eye and the normal looking eye as, oh, he's just woken up, it's nothing. So some nurses would have said that. I do remember that in Milton Keynes, and we said, no, you got to research this. Remember, there's not a lot of black people at the time, and believe it or not, there is a lot of black people, a lot of black doctors and nurses who knows about it, who was always there behind the scenes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But not raising the awareness of it, or they're
at the
in
time.
position, they are in the position of power. This is why the show is called Sickle Cell Awareness.
Yeah.
Daniel is sharing his story. It's painful. You're sharing it as a mother, watching your son with it. We are in 2021, and it's like we're only given us that corner. Go and stand in that corner over there, and let's raise awareness over there. So, rather than wait for one day, June the 19th, I decided that it was going to be now.
Yeah.
And it will be championed on the way. Other people need to step up and not just keep having these Instagram, whatever it is, and do the same. Speak to people like yourselves and talk about it.
I do believe though, with good health and education and researching, and Daniel, I'm going to tell you as well, because like some people do it, some people do it, some people do take their tablets, some people, there's a lot of people who can't be asked, and they just take water and they live on this, they don't live on the tablets, and they survive, they go through whatever they have to do. But I do believe if you do take the water, you do the right thing, and you can be okay. You can be okay. Sometimes I think with the sickle cell, especially the full blown, because I do hear a lot of people going in hospital, and they're going in hospital more than Daniel does. Daniel gets crisis, I think, twice a year or once a year. It depends. Daniel, you can say that. I'm not sure, but I don't understand when we hear this one's got clot and this one's got. Sometimes I just cry to myself and think, my God, Daniel is all right, and you're hearing people going through. You get what I'm saying? I don't understand, and it's like
Daniel, you're fortunate. Not the word lucky. Let me use that word again.
Too much. It's too much.
Fortunate. And Crystal, you're fortunate.
Yeah.
Because
there's
too many people have passed away. Even the T-Boz that was in
TLC.
She was the only person I knew that growing up. That's all we ever heard of.
The guy from Mobb Deep had it as well, Prodigy.
Yeah, Prodigy. And when he died, no one said it was sickle cell. Do you know when that man passed? Sorry.
Most death for Prodigy. Oh, sorry, no, someone asked for something. Sorry.
Yeah, the guy, not Prodigy as in the band Prodigy, the rapper. When he passed, and you can see all these rappers all over, social media. Not one person said, "Oh my God, it was sickle cell."
It's like they were trying to hide it. It's like they're ashamed of it. It's like they're ashamed. I don't understand it.
I just don't think they were educated enough, or they felt that they couldn't say it. The first thing that assumptions were COVID.
Yeah.
The assumptions are COVID. And unless his family didn't speak about it, or he didn't speak about it, and Daniel, and I was surprised that you even knew that he died from.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but people, because it's not, I'm not saying that Black people don't talk about it. It's become closed, it's a private group.
I think it's got a bit bigger over the years. I think it's got a bit more.
No. I totally agree that it has. It really has. People are now, and that's what I'm saying. I'm part of that. I want to be part of that that's raising the awareness. I don't have it. I just remember growing up where every time I was ill, the first thing that my grandmother would say is, "Can you please check? This wasn't advertised, but I've just joined. Hopefully not too late." Oh, hello, Shernette. I don't know if that's someone that Shernette B. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not advertise it? I'm sure I advertised it, but I'm glad that you've joined, and it's going to still be on the YouTube. You can watch it back. We've had some. I think it's Oliver's
friend. I think it's Oliver's sister. I think it's Shernette, Daniel. Shernette, Daniel.
Charlotte, yeah, we're pretty much coming to the end, and we're talking about but you can watch it back, and it was very, very powerful conversation we had back on this subject. And sorry it wasn't advertised, but I'll make sure next time that everyone sees the advertisement. But it's been out for the last couple of weeks. Hello. We've got some other people here saying, hello, Leisha. I went to school with 2 girls with sickle cell, so be very aware from young. See, this is the thing. That's Leisha Marshall Witter. She's beautiful, beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. She's just saying that, going to school. I don't know if you guys can see the the chat room here.
Yeah.
They went to school. They, you know, they were very aware from young. See, I only heard the name, but not knowing what it is. And so when Pamela passed, we just didn't. And Pamela was my brother's girlfriend. And it was just always my brother was just saying, you know, oh, my girlfriend's got this, my girlfriend's got sickle cell. And we just didn't understand it. And we'd all gone away, you know, with my family. We had these family trips, and my dad used to take us to these coach trips, you know, years growing up. And we got back. Pamela couldn't come with us. I said, I know Pamela and her mum was Mrs. Roberts. And my brother got back, and there was a phone call, and the phone call just said, my brother said, you need to get round to Pamela's house.
Right.
Because no one has seen her, and my brother was the one who found her dead in the bathroom.
Oh, God.
What? Because of the sickle cell?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't get no look home.
Didn't catch her in time, and so she was in the bathroom, and my brother got to the house, and she was, because they didn't know where she was. So we had gone away that weekend to my father's coach trip, and my brother got home and found her in the bathroom.
Can I just say, Dan, you can answer to that. I think, like you said, if you didn't know what it was, and if obviously she didn't get any treatment, I wasn't getting any medication.
No, she was probably. No, she was in hospital at least. I would say in the 2 years that my brother was dating her, because we knew her from school.
Right.
She would probably have a crisis every 3 months, 3-4 months.
Wow, yeah, because I do find out that a lot of women as well, they do get a lot of, like, get into a lot of problems. Yeah. I used to hear they say the men get it worse. I don't know what difference does that make, but I used to hear them saying men get it worse than the women, or the women. But of late, I do find, I don't know. I don't know. From the grace of God, I don't know. And Daniel, when Daniel says that if he goes to the hospital, he feels like he's given up, there's nothing you can do. If you're in crisis, we can't help at home. We can do as much as we can, but you need to go into the hospital so he can get his morphine, he can get his this. But Daniel knows, you know, he knows what is what. And I don't know. I don't know. But it's not about me. It's about Daniel. So even though I'm emotional,
I know you said it's not about you, but there's mothers out there that probably don't speak about it, Crystal.
Yeah.
They probably do not speak about their trauma, because no matter how you look at this, it is a trauma. It's a trauma that you keep here. It's a trauma that you probably only speak to 1 or 2 people, or you just nonchalantly, just with me, you and I, when we've spoken, and I there is nothing I can offer, Daniel, to your mum when she calls me, apart from she'll be just having a normal conversation, and she'll break down. And Daniel,
I think Oliver's on the line as well. That's the same with Oliver. If Oliver's on the line, listen, he don't know that Oliver knows me for thick and thin. This lady here next to me, they know. Yeah. Listen, they've been through me thick and thin. They know what it's like with Daniel. They talk. They try to talk. Daniel must think we're getting on his case. He's
no. This is not about anyone's case here. No. When I say the trauma, this is about awareness. Yeah. Awareness of what Daniel's gone through, awareness of how he dealt with it growing up, awareness for Daniel being brave enough to come on here today and talk about it. And the bravery is the mum that has done this for 36 years. And it still goes on, no matter what tablet that he takes, no matter how he looks after himself. You've now got 2 beautiful grandchildren. And, you know, they have got, you know, the traits, but no, thank God, they've got no symptoms, as Daniel said. But it's just really about sharing your story and raising awareness. And so, Daniel, is there any parting words before we close today's show? And sorry for anyone who's just joined us. We have been on an hour, and it's been, you know, really good conversation, as I said before. And for me, I I feel totally blessed that, as I said, Daniel, you've taken the time, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. Because it's their as I said, it's their journey, it's their life. Not everyone wants to come and say, well, I want to give up, or I had enough, but I've had to soldier on. What is your parting words today, and words of wisdom that you would share to anyone who's got young children or adults going through what you've been through?
I mean, like, it's a new day now, because we're so many years in. The research is a lot clearer now than many years back. So don't suffer in silence. Like you said, there's groups out there. There's all these YouTube things out there. There's loads of things just to put your face on a camera and say, I need help, or I need to understand something. Talk to someone if you need to talk to. One thing, me growing up with this thing, is that I've never known personally, like a best friend, a close friend, even just a close associate. I've never really known someone else with sickle cell. So
wow.
Yeah, like my partner's friend has it. It's like something like that. I know someone who knows someone who might have it. I don't know someone personally myself, so I've never had that. Pardon?
Apart from your dad.
No, I mean, friend-wise, someone who I grew up with, out of the family, someone like in school, just another person. I've already either met someone in hospital and I've never seen them again, or, so I do kind of wish I had that extra someone who understands it like me. So, like you said, there's all these groups out there now. I'm not in one, but like it's a new time now. I might start looking around just to maybe help the younger generation.
Yeah,
because it should be, people shouldn't be alone. Sorry, and there's lots of help out there now than what it was in the 80s. So no one should be suffering how I was, at least. There's all these kind of medication out there for you now. So if it's knowing that you have something, the help's out there for you, and there's always people there to speak to as well. So you're not alone.
Daniel, I thank you for that. I thank you for that pearl of wisdom, and again, the honesty that you have just shared, which is you have gone through that without speaking to someone else that has gone through the same as you. You've said you've only met them through the hospital, but never someone that you go and said, boy, today has been a bad day, and they could say, and this is what happened. But Suzanne just said there is a group at work, which is where I was just coming to. There is I've got this here. I'm going to come to you, Crystal, because I would love you to give the part in words. And me, I always like to try to throw other little bits out there. One of the things I'm going to share is this. So they are now doing, it's called Reverse Psychology London, and they're partnering up with the Sickle Cell Society to host a thing called Rise Up for Sickle Cell, and it's on the 14th of July. And what they're doing is, there's a lot of people doing these. This has been going on for years, but this is actually through the Sickle Cell Society. They are now pushing the boat out to, for people to actually come together through music, art, fashion, food, and more. And it's held in a very exclusive private house. But not just that. There is also the blood drive. The NHS has got a group. Now, this is in where do you live now, Daniel? Are you in South London?
We're near Holloway.
Oh, right. So you're Northwest London. Okay, North London, sorry. This on the page of the Sickle Cell Society, the people that you see here are all in this picture are all sickle cell sufferers. Okay. And what they're now doing, they now have proper community advocates who are able to sit and have just normal chats with other sickle cell sufferers. So you're not just going to an organization who's going to throw a lot of words at you, but they call it, and this is what they're now doing. And I want to share this so other people, when they do see this back, it's to address the common concerns and, wherever possible, put people's minds at rest about the sickle cell, but also sharing the facts about the blood donation. And this is something that I remember you saying early in the conversation. Even though you've had blood transfusion, it's not something that you're happy about. But what this society is now doing is actually addressing those, the myth behind the blood transfusions, and you're able to ask all the questions that's ever bothered you about it and explain the positive impact that blood transfusion has on some people's life. Now, again, you were just saying, Daniel, that not everybody's the same. But for those who want to open up their mind, as you just said, again, all the things that you just said is addressed in this little note that I've got on the screen. And at the end of this, I will have this up on the page, on the website page. So for anybody that wants to find out a bit more, this is where they can go. And with this particular show, it will go out as a podcast as well, Daniel. So there will be little groups. You can always come to myself and I can point you. If you're open now, you're saying,
yeah, of course.
This story, now it's live. This story now is viral.
Yeah.
And it's time that I hope someone reaches out to you to say, I am a sickle cell sufferer. I would love to hear your story. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And get in touch with you.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, coming to you as the mama who has beautifully, again, shared your story with us, and my heart. And even though I've heard you on numerous times, having that phone call with me today was even more deeper than before. What would you like to say to anybody else out there, in a parting note about sickle cell and your journey with it, with your son?
First and foremost, I just want to say I'm proud of you, Dan. Love you so much. Proud of you. You've done good.
I'm proud of him too, and he's not even my son.
I'm going to kill you tonight watching you phone me. Not to suffer in silence, and that is, it's not the end of the world if you've got a child that comes a sickle cell anemic person. The trace, if someone's got a trace, they might go through the same symptoms, but it's not going to be as bad. Fluid, the right food, the right nutriment, the healthy diet, the exercise, your mind, just, as long as you're there to protect, because it is stressful. 1 minute you're nice, 1 minute you're okay, and then the next minute, because sometimes it's not even his fault, because sometimes we'd be like, do this, do that. I know I used to nag him, we used to get on him, take your tablets, take this, because why should you take tablets to keep yourself fit? But unfortunately, that's how it goes with the symptoms and how it is. So I don't know, I just think, just be strong. Just be strong. It's not the end. It looks like it's the end. Sometimes it's really depressing. I'm just keeping it real, what I've been through with him.
That's all you can do.
I've been feeling bad. I feel bad for what he goes through, but at the end of the day, you're special. This is a special thing. You're going through it, and you're strong, Daniel. Remember, you got your kids. You're strong, and the Almighty will watch over us, man. And I don't know. It's been a strain. It's been a strain. As he's got older, he's learned to deal with it better, I think. But he doesn't tell us. He doesn't talk to us. Sometimes he's moody. What's wrong? You all right? Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. If he's got a sniffy nose, Valerie, if he's got a sniffy nose, I go into fast mode. Right, you're going to be sick. Right, you got to do this. I'm all like that because it's easy for him to get contagious. But anyway, like I said,
and these are the things that you've had to contend with, growing, watching your son grow up. Because I said to Daniel earlier in the show, what are the symptoms? How was anyone able to know that this was what you were going through? And you've just said straight away, your mind, your panic and you're anxious, because as soon as he caught a cold, the first thing you thought is, is it a cold? What is it? Is it chest? Is it, oh my God, is he having a crisis? So you went through all of that. Because
he's contagious. If he catches a cold, it carries on unless he protects it. I don't know. Daniel, you can explain because you know how it feels.
So it continues, the infection it would lead on. You know, that was the most common pattern. What was always matching. You know, it was always the same thing. I'll get a cold. A few days later, I'll get ill. A few days later, I might be in hospital, or I might recover and be okay the next day. But that pain would come for one day after getting a cold, just from a cold.
Holy crap. Suzanne, I think you are aware who Suzanne is. Suzanne, I would love, we have a group where I work. I would love for that information of the group where you work, about the sickle cell. And I know you do know Colette, and I know you know Dan.
She's our family. She's our family. We grew up together. His best friend,
to get to know that group.
Sorry to interrupt again. His best friend Marcus, Susan's son, bless his soul, he's passed away. So yeah. So I know Susan. She's been through it. She knows what we go through. So yeah.
Susan, I am so sorry to hear that. And I hope that what we spoke about today wasn't too traumatic and it resonated. And I'm hoping that we shared enough information, Suzanne, and we aren't talking bull crap, because you know that people can have a show and they just talk shite because they don't know what the hell they're dealing with. So I'm hoping that today was a good insight, Suzanne. And if there's anything else that you want to share in this whole chat room, please do. It'd be interesting to know the group that you are with. And George Marsh Center, yeah, amen. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. For anybody else that wants a group to reach, there it is, George Marsh Center, St. Anne's Hospital, which is in Tottenham Hale. God bless you. Thank you, Suzanne, and 100% niceness and love to you, my darling. And I know he's passed a year ago, but condolences. And
no, a few years back. Well, a few years back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I only had a fit. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. It has gone viral. It is going to be it's everywhere, and I will be highlighting it again all over Instagram. And I just want to say thank you for definitely sharing sickle cell awareness and how you guys have coped with it today. Daniel, thank you. Big up to please tell the missus we've taken you away for some time. I'm sorry.
Let's see her. Bring her in. Come, Shay. Come, tell your face, Shay. Come on.
No, she's cool.
Come on.
Thank you, Shay. Yeah, thank you, Shay. And big up to your children. Keep them safe.
Thank you, guys.
Keep sharing the love. Keep educating as you go along. And Crystal, again, I know I had you on last week. Thank you so much for your unwavering, totally honesty today. And you look beautiful. I don't want to hear nothing about glasses and you don't look nice. Thank you for the honesty of today's show.
I'm just keeping it real. That's my boy. That's my man. He's coming with me, so I'm just keeping it real.
Daniel, I hope to see you outside of lockdown at some point.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm sending you big hearts of love.
Thank you,
Valerie. God bless you. Okay.
Daniel, that's Susan. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So guys, I'm going to say good night to you guys, and I'm going to leave you in the chat room. So I'm going to put you back in the chat room just quickly while I say good night to everybody else on the live.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you. Daniel, love you. See you later.
See you later, Daniel. Right, I'm going to put you guys out here. Hold on a second. Do not leave me. Stay in the chat room. I want to say thank you to everyone that stuck with us. Thank you, Sherna. Yes, please, thank you. And you can watch it again on the catch up. It's on the Facebook. It's on the YouTube. YouTube, it stays forever. It's only on Facebook for another week, and then it stays onto the YouTube. But and I'm sorry to anyone who said I didn't advertise this week. My bad, my fault entirely. I'm sure I advertised, but maybe it was too late. But thank you so much again. As I said to everybody, going from next week, it's no longer on the Facebook. It's all through YouTube and the twitch.tv, Standing in My Truth. Thank you so much for all your time. If there's any information you want me to impart, please let me know. Drop me an email to speak to me at standinginmytruth.co.uk. That's speak to me at standinginmytruth.co.uk. Run over to the website www.standinginmytruth.co.uk and to catch up on everything else that's going on. Thank you, Sola. Thank you so much. Great evening. Have a good evening as well to you. Good evening to everybody else. Have a fabulous, well, it's Friday tomorrow. Let's hope it doesn't rain too much, but have a great week. Catch me next week. I'll be speaking to ex-former rugby league player, Mr. Martin O'Fire. So anyone who knows about rugby league, yes, Mr. Martin O'Fire, MBE, joins me in the studio. Actually, he's on Saturday, so he's here Saturday midday. But you'll see the show if you want to catch it on that. Also, next week Wednesday, I'll be filming live, not from my home, but from Essex. It's called the Sister Circle. Yes, on the YouTube. It's called the Sister Circle. Well, it's actually called The Circle. It's not just the sisters. It's called the Sister Circle. We've got the wonderful Anne-Marie Wickham, who will be speaking to everybody about showing brotherly love as we come out of lockdown and how best to see the best way we can continue living our lives. With that said, have a wonderful evening. God bless you. I now need to go and have some food because I'm absolutely starving. Yes, Sinead, proud of you, Dan Millington. Good night, everyone, and God bless.